Hello and welcome to 10 Things About Mercury Square Pluto. This is going to be great, guys. Okay. So we are in the Mercury retrograde in the square to Pluto, which is creating a longer energy. This is usually just a transit that, we build up to it and it hits and then it goes away and life just goes back to normal. However, because of this Mercury retrograde, there's going to be a couple of different hits. So this is going to be a much longer vibe, if you will. It's gonna last. We're in the middle of it. It's gonna last a couple weeks. So I thought to do this nice little list of things. I am born with a Mercury square Pluto aspect, and so all of you out there that will have Mercury connect. It's funny. I had a couple Zoom sessions today that they have like Mercury trining Pluto, which is such a better expression of this energy, but. Okay, so this will apply right now to the transit as well as to anyone that happens to be born with a Mercury square Pluto in your natal chart. Okay, so one of the first things to point out, Mercury is the ruler of our minds, of our information processing senses, all the five senses, and very, very simplistically, Pluto is also the ruler of excavation and digging and rooting and really getting to the very, I use the root canal story all the time when talking about Pluto. So you mix these two ideas together and you really have a lot to unpack, and that's exactly what this aspect does, is that it unpacks it roots things out from the mind, from how we process information, from the information that we're exchanging back and forth. So number one, no sleep or weird sleep. You could have racing thoughts. You could have really weird dreams. You could have any sort of disruptions in your sleep schedules and how you're sleeping, when you're sleeping, how long you sleep. This past week, I've just been like being awake for maybe 30 to 40 hours straight and then like sleeping for a long time and then being awake for a few hours and then sleeping for like 8 hours. It's just been really weird. And if you're born with this aspect, it's going to affect your sleep in the sense that it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to shut off your mind. So it's really easy for Mercury square Pluto people to meditate, actually, because or do certain different energy work, because a Mercury square Pluto person, and even Mercury trine, any Mercury to Pluto aspect, it'll be easier for you to put your body asleep and to keep your mind awake. So that's a huge thing with energy work and all that other stuff. So you could find that over these couple of weeks that you just have difficulty sleeping, there's issues that you're dealing with, or there's just a lot of things that you're thinking about. So that's one of the things. Number two is that, and this is very specific to the current transit with Mercury retrograding in Libra now, surface level diplomacy. That's the Mercury in Libra, but it's retrograde. Now it's like wonky. Meeting up with Pluto, underhanded tactics, and being able to perceive this, being able to see it for what it is, because there will be very vulgar displays of these underhanded tactics and underhanded behaviors. And these, I would say, in the individual, this could still be something happening subconsciously where people are lashing out or people are on the attack or on the defense. And it's going to be something that's not really, it was really there all along. This is one of the interesting things, that these things, these tensions, these, even like the underhandedness, this is something that's been there all along, but it's had that surface level diplomacy on top of it with the Mercury and Libra energy. So this is something that you're going to be able to, it's like it's gonna, you can't miss it. You can't miss it. Like in yourself, you're going to have these feelings, and in other people, you're going to see that diplomacy break down, and you're going to see where there were superficial intentions or where there were superficial interactions, relationships, meetings, what have you, and people's true hatred, people's true negative feelings, all of the real honest The honest ugliness and the honest authenticity are going to shine through very brightly, very obviously. And so if you're born with this, you always see that in people. You always, or you'll always feel that within yourself, or you will even respond to somebody else, someone else's underhandedness, or you'll be able to really penetrate that fake superficiality. Oh, saccharine, I can use that word now. That that's just, you may have a disdain for it depending on if you've been, how you use this energy. So hi, hello, welcome, willkommen. So that's number 2. Number 3, unspoken tensions flare to the surface. So this is something that existed, like I said, the whole time, all along, and it's rising to the surface. It's like Pluto goes to the depths of the deep, 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 the deep recesses of our minds, of our psyches, of our subconscious, of our real feelings, of our real raw and honest selves, and just like shoots it up like a geyser to the very surface, to the, it hits the cold, cruel air and sees the cold, harsh light of day. And it's this geyser, just like, how do we can no longer pretend like it's not there. So this Mercury Pluto, it's all about, especially with this transit with the Libran energy, it's like we're going to be really upset if anyone is trying to pretend like it's not there. Stop pretending like you don't see me. Stop pretending like this isn't real. Stop pretending like this isn't happening. Stop pretending like this isn't there. Stop ignoring this. And so it's, that can come through a person, another person in your life. That can be you, or that could be the situation that is just showing you something that you had neglected to see, because it's a source of tension, because it's uncomfortable, because people really can't handle the truth. And if you're born with this aspect, then you just happen to be, guys, I could be at a dinner, a couple could have me over for dinner, and I have this Mercury square Pluto in my chart, remember. I could be trying to just compliment their home, and I will ask them about some painting or some mantelpiece or something, and it will happen to be like the one contentious issue between this couple that I had no idea, but they maybe had fought about that very thing maybe an hour before I got there, or the day before the party, or whatever happens to be. I have this knack for, or if I'm just trying to make, small talk, so bad at small talk, by the way. How's your mom? How's your brother? I'll ask about like the one family member that they don't ever want to talk about, that they pretend they don't exist, that they had a falling out with, that they just had a big fight with, that there's some big drama happening, that it's a real sore spot that they just don't want to talk about. It's just, when you're born, and some of you are born on a Mercury retrograde, and Mercury retrogrades 3-4 times a year. So when Mercury retrogrades, it's a little bit better for you because you're used to that energy. Same thing if you're conscious, if you become conscious of some of your more difficult aspects, then you know how to negate this energy, you know how to negate what's going on and how to make the best of it. So, where was I? Unspoken tension. So you may step into it over these next couple of weeks and not even know it. You might not even know that you're bringing up something uncomfortable, or that you might be having a moment with your children, and you might, say something and they just start crying and they just start freaking out, and you have no idea what it was. Like, what did I say? What did I do? Why are they tweaking out like this? That's that. Or someone may trigger you, tip you off, and just say something or do something that's like, it brings some tension to the surface in you, and you're trying to look at that. Oh, hey guys, welcome. I just watched a movie where you played Rose. It wasn't Titanic. You're so funny, Troy. Thanks. Aw, Troy's so sweet. Number 4. Number 4, we have, this is so hard. Speaking very forcefully. Again, you may be touching on some sore spots, but this is more the tone of voice. So other people around you both at the same time. You may be more sensitive to everyone's tone of voice, and everyone's tone of voice may just be that little bit harsher. I happen to speak very forcefully, and I don't feel like I am. And I actually feel like I have to be very specific, and I feel like I have to make myself understood, and I don't really have to try as hard as I think I do, because Mercury square Pluto, I have this energy that it just sounds so intense, or it just sounds like, I don't know. It's just how I talk, but it's like I can tell that I can tell the effect I'm having on someone. When I'm saying something and then they're looking a little traumatized, and I'm like, I know I have to reel it back in, but how? You know what I'm saying? So if you're born with Mercury square Pluto, know that you speak very forcefully, and that you just would benefit from analyzing how you communicate. For instance, I'm channeling this energy so much better now that I do what I do with you guys, and these messages, and the coaching that I do, and the teaching that I do. But until then, all of that really strong, forceful energy landed on people that were not trying to evolve or grow or learn. They were just trying to have a normal conversation. And then here I come in with like and I just dig everything up from the depths of their subconscious, and they're just I'm just like traumatizing people left and right, just like shocking them with whatever I'm saying, so it's like, just be careful, because you and the people around you may be speaking more forcefully just because this is happening for like a couple of weeks. You may be more easily triggered by what other people are saying, because it's triggering things inside of you that have like a subconscious, far reaching past. Number 5, this is dark. This is a hidden desire to punish other people. So Pluto's about power. Pluto's about control. Pluto stands for a lot of different things: the excavation, the digging, the rooting out. And so you may come up against your own feelings of wanting to dominate, especially the conversation, especially the image of what you are trying to project about yourself, about your relationship, about your career, about your image, about whatever it is. You may feel very triggered that you want to dominate the situation, the other people, what's being said, how it's being said. And this may even extend to the punishing, where you might feel like you want to be Saturn and dole out the karma, or that you want to give someone what they deserve or what they've earned, or you might feel very spiteful or bitter. And those are lower expressions of this energy, where you just feel like you, and even if you like, this is really difficult when it comes up in families, when it comes up in family dynamics, because then you have, guys, I couldn't even perceive this. I couldn't even perceive it until I saw it with my own eyes. A mother being jealous of her 6-year-old daughter and putting her down, and kind of cutting her down, and being really underhanded, undermining her confidence, undermining her intelligence, her self-esteem. That would have never occurred to me until I saw it for myself with in the flesh and blood person, in person, seeing this happen. And it just tweaked me out. It was just so, I could have never thought that this person was capable of that, because they were jealous of this little girl doing well at school, doing well in a school thing, displaying their intelligence, spelling a word. It was just really, well, I'm not going to go into like how I felt about it, but just know that that was definitely something that was underneath the surface. It was there all along. I had never seen an example of it. I had never seen that action, or that being verbally expressed. But you might see it in other people. It might be coming up within yourself, where you might want to punish someone for having something that you didn't have, or for being something that you don't feel like you are. I don't know, but you might be coming up with like jealousy, fears of abandonment. I don't know, all kinds of different stuff. But you might project it out. You might project it out and want to punish somebody else for your lack. And this is kind of the Libra part, where Libra can kind of compare and despair. That's low vibrational Libra. That's not really confident in their own selves, where they're just always comparing themselves to someone. So, but you mix that with Pluto and Capricorn and these power issues and these dominance issues, and you might have someone that is comparing themselves to someone else and wants to cut them down and wants to tear them down. Okay, so number 6. This is feeling like the list lasted forever. Number 6, rooting out the truth about power dynamics in relationships. So Pluto is power, Capricorn is power. Even Libra is kind of judicious power, or the legal system power. So Pluto is rooting out the truth. It's that root canal. It's the digging of the grave. It is just getting to the very, very root of the issue, the situation, whatever it happens to be. But it's going to be rooting out the truth about the power dynamic in your relationship with someone pivotal in your life, or your relationship to the public or to other people, or to, power itself. But it's going to be played out in your relationships. It's going to show you where these power dynamics are unequal, where they are unfair, where they are just not equal. And you're going to be challenged to see if you can make this right, if you can correct the power imbalances without wanting to burn them down, without wanting to punish them, without wanting to destroy them, without wanting to dominate the situation or the conversation. So yeah, it's kind of like it's really, when you're not conscious of this is when you see the lower expressions of this playing out. And this has been playing out, like it's going to be like a whole thing. So this is even like I said, with parent-child dynamics, family dynamics, with money in between people, everything that you share with other people, because Pluto is Scorpio, is the 8th house. And so it's about the give and the take between you and someone else, and how you feel that there's justice there, or how you feel like there's a gross imbalance and that someone's taking advantage of someone. So it may even be, it's been there the whole time. These are things that are hiding in plain sight. Been there the whole time, but you see the action. Someone takes the action, someone says the thing, and it's where you can no longer ignore it or pretend like it's not there. So if there's like a financial power imbalance in a married couple, maybe it's not a big deal for a very long time until it is. Until something meaningful comes up between these two, and there's a huge divide over how resources are being spent or invested. Now it's a thing. Now we can no longer shove this under the rug. If it's I don't want to have kids, I do want to have kids. I change my mind about having kids and I do want them. I change my mind about having kids, I don't want them. I want to go back to work. I want to live in another country. I change my mind about your family, whatever happens to be. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. Whatever that is, that's been like simmering and working on you subconsciously. Mercury square Pluto, like I'm telling you, it's usually a few days, but this is such a long aspect that this is like, you're like going through this, like you're really, you guys are really going through this. So it's coming up, someone verbalizes this dislike, and Pluto, it's like extreme. So it's like, I definitely do want kids. I know that for a fact. I don't want kids. I know that for a fact. I know I could never live here ever again. Or I know I could never go back there ever again. I know, it's like people are feeling very extreme. People are feeling very extreme. So the extremity of these subconscious deep feelings show you where that power imbalance is. And you're going to be tasked with correcting that and taking responsibility for that. Number 7, creates a probing mind. Fear equals paranoia. Oh, control. Okay, I'm like, what? I didn't read my handwriting for a second there. So if you're born with Mercury square Pluto, and I touched on this before, you really have that digging mind that has to figure things out, that has to know, that has to probe, that has to understand, that has to search. Oh, this is great for astrologers, for anyone that does that, a detective, someone that tries to figure out a murder mystery, someone that tries to, solve crimes, someone that tries to exploit code, someone that tries to, look for the loopholes of vulnerabilities and either exploit them or heal them, or, whatever you decide to do with this is your free will choice. But this is the energy that's like, it creates this need to like search out. And the lower vibration of this, if you're operating from fear, is paranoid, is that you have a lack mentality, maybe some victim stuff going on, but you fear that lack. So that's why you want to, that's why you get really paranoid. You get really obsessed about a person or a situation, or, somebody at work, or a work dynamic, or you start getting paranoid about your friends, and that, like, it's like you can really spiral it like way out of control. And that triggers the control issues, that triggers the dominance, that triggers the projection. And you see how that first thought that you choose spirals, and it leads you down this path that can result in some actions that you take or some words that you say that you will greatly reproach yourself for later. Guys, I speak from personal experience. I have detonated so much in my life on purpose, because this is like human instinct that you have, that your divine self, your higher self, your spiritual self has to overcome. That's the whole point of life, is to overcome the human experience, because you're a soul, because you're a spirit, because you're divine, because you're freaking a consciousness renting the meat suit. So when you're little, when you're young, when you're 12-year-old Natalie, when you're 10-year-old you're still just like, you're just like a record player playing whatever was programmed into you. So you guys are adults. We're all adults here, right? So you guys, if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling paranoid, if you're feeling inhibited, if you're feeling like you need to like control another person or another situation, that's a major red flag. And that just means you're trying to understand this, because you have that, at least for these few weeks, you all have this aspect. For a few weeks, you all are a Mercury square Pluto person. So you just get used to that probing. You're trying to understand, you're trying to figure it out, but it doesn't mean that you need to affect somebody else's free will or somebody else's life just yet. Number 8, themes. Oh, hello, welcome. Around, be like, give unto you power to tread on serpents, scorpions, over all the power of the enemy, nothing which enemies hurt you, bring on them. Oh, thanks, Lewis. Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Number 8, themes of abuse and boundaries. Crossing boundaries are coming up. If anyone's been abused with this aspect or not, that issue of my power was taken from me and my boundaries were crossed, that's going to flare up. That's going to flare up huge. You've already been in it. You're going to keep seeing it. So know that if people are acting whack, that there's a lot of subconscious garbage, that's a baggage that's associated with that. But just know that if you're born with Mercury square Pluto, you would need other signatures in your chart to point to abuse. I'm not going to just say that this one aspect says that. But it does say that you were probably the victim of like cruel or sadistic humor growing up. I definitely was, and I feel like that's what gives me a fantastic sense of dark humor, because I can laugh at so much, and anything bad that happens, or bad that happens to me, or anything suffering, any pain that I go through, I turn it into a joke and I make it so funny. It's so dark though. Like my Mercury square Pluto is why my humor is so dark. But it's like, I don't know. I'm not like a victim about it. I don't identify as a victim. So I'm just saying that you might have been through that. And so that might come up for you. And if it does, you'll work through it, but you're already working through it from a conscious place. Okay. So like I said, the themes of abuse, this is like, you may be really triggered if someone's been controlling you this whole time, and it's been that hiding in plain sight under the surface, and maybe it hasn't even been that big of a problem. You just kind of went along with it until it is a problem, or until something else is really triggered. So yeah, look out for crossing boundaries. And even like if there's something happening in like a relationship or work situation and there's a boundary that's crossed, even if it's something like, let's say it's not even a boundary being crossed. Let's say it's just a disagreement that you want to do something and your partner at work or, you know, collaborator wants to do something else, and you guys just have very divergent opinions. If there's like an impasse, this could totally trigger power issues on both sides. And this can totally make you revert back to when your father, I don't know, did something or didn't do something, or your mother, the dominant parent, did something or didn't do something. That's where we play out all of that subconscious stuff in the people we choose as mates, in our coworkers, in our boss, with our bosses, our relationships, with our careers. All of that is where it plays out when we're not conscious. When we're conscious, we see these patterns and we see the synchronicities and we see what we do over and over again, and then we can make a new choice and we can change the pattern and we can do something different. Number 9, only authentic strategy works. You might think that you're being so clever, being your Mercury square Pluto self for these few weeks, and that you are hatching this diabolical plan to bring someone down, to take someone's job, to throw somebody under the bus, to insult someone on social media, to slander somebody's name, to bring down that, you know, you may be thinking that you are putting together some master plan to destroy something, and it's going to blow up in your face. Same. And I'm speaking from when I've done that in the past. I am being, you guys know I am always so honest with you here. In my, in my day, in my heyday, this Mercury square Pluto was only hurting myself. And so I am hoping that no one else goes through that kind of pain, and that I can just sort of download this into you through the magic of Wi-Fi. Actually, I'm plugged in, but you know what I'm saying? So that you kind of avoid that pain. But here's the thing. You might need that pain in order to grow. You might need to have these experiences in order to grow and learn it for yourself. So hopefully you guys get the benefit of, and here's what's interesting is that I was attracted to someone who was, oh my God, like absolutely diabolical. And it had to, that relationship had to show me something, not like I'm diabolical, but like show me something about myself. And every relationship is like that: platonic, romantic, familial, work, career, or otherwise. So this Mercury Pluto, especially with Mercury retrograding in Libra, we're all reassessing our partnerships. We're all reassessing our relationships. We're all having a double think about it. Even if we're going along to get along, it's breaking down. And the truth is there, whether you make a change in your life because of that truth, or whether you just keep on pretending like it didn't happen or it's not there, even though it's plainly obvious and clearly visible. It's free will choice. So only authentic strategy works. So when you are using Mercury square Pluto smartly, from a conscious place, from a higher evolution, and I'm so grateful for everything I went through in 2018. That was horrible. That was my year of tears where I cried every single day. Remember that? So I'm so grateful for that, because it set me up for such a peaceful next few years. And now like no conflict, man. There's no conflict. I don't want that. I'm a creator. I create things. I write screenplays. I channel messages. I coach people. I'm starting a class, psychokinesis and telekinesis, every Thursday. If you guys want to join, sign up on my Patreon. It's the very highest tier. It's going to be all of us on Zoom, and we're going to practice. You're going to practice every single week. I'm going to coach you. You're going to do your work, and it's going to be amazing. So conflict is such a way to control people, to like get people sucked up in some conflict. so that they don't create, so that they don't innovate, so that they don't reach their full potential, so that they don't be awesome and enjoy life and be amazing. So you guys will all make that choice if you choose ego over love, or if you choose conflict over peace. And I promise you, people will hate you for choosing love and for choosing peace. They hated Jesus. People hated Jesus so much. Okay. If you rise above all that, oh my God, people hate you. So just be prepared for that. Be prepared for judgments and slander, and they're going to try to keep bringing you down into conflict, into having divergent opinions and having separatist mindsets. That's low vibrational Libra energy. Speaking on this current transit, which you people will, it is true that Libra wants to negotiate, bring people together, but the low vibrational Libra, Vladimir Putin, he's either a Libra or Libra rising. The Libras make the best generals, the best strategists, the best to go into like war, because it's like, it's how you use the energy. It's free will. So, but know that with this Mercury square Pluto on a Mercury retrograde, know that whatever underhanded things that you've been doing are going to blow up in your face. Like, it's just going to come back and bite you so bad. I mean, I can pretty much guarantee that. So only authentic strategy works. If you want to use this energy, then you want to use it smartly. And that's why I do this. That's why we're here, so that I can empower you guys to empower yourselves, so that you're not just like the Godfather, like on the puppet strings, just like, you know what I'm saying? So, oh gosh. Okay, number 10, speaking of which, last but not least, number 10. How do you call your power back when you feel like it's being taken away, like you're being attacked, like people are slandering your name, like your boundaries are being crossed, like people are pulling power moves on you, and you're seeing how you've lost power or gave it away? How do you call your power back to you? You empower others. You empower others as well as empowering yourself. And actually, that's part of why I'm doing the psychokinesis and telekinesis classes, is because I want people to see how powerful they are. It's not enough to just see me doing it. You need to see and feel yourself doing it, so that you understand who you really are, so much more than a body, a meat suit, even a name, even you're so much more. There's so much more. And I feel like teaching you this and having this where we do this every single week, and you seeing yourself do these things, what people say impossible, pseudoscience, not real, gimmick, or what else do they say? They say fake, whatever they say about it, you're going to do it. For those of you that sign up for this, you're going to do it the highest tier on Patreon. And like, that's your truth, and that's your power, and that's you and your energy and taking your power back. So when you empower, and this is like a secret to being Capricorn, by the way, is that Capricorn empowering others empowers themselves. So that's the same thing with Pluto being in Capricorn. I don't want to get into a whole digression about America's Pluto return. But anyway, the last thing to know about Mercury square Pluto is that you call your power back to yourself, first and foremost, empowering other people. Okay, obviously not your enemies. You just leave. You just leave the situation. You don't devolve in conflict. Then you're not creating. Think of it that way. If you're so stewed and now the things that come up that you've got to deal with, like family traumas and stuff, you've got to deal with. But even that, there's a way to handle it. There's a way to use the forcefulness that this is giving you to be forceful enough to advocate for your needs, stand up for your boundaries, take your power back from whoever is trying to strong arm you, or who's trying to control you, or is trying to slander you, or is trying to do whatever. And you focus on building yourself up, and you focus on looking for the lesson and understanding. This is always how I see it. When someone betrays me, when someone lies to me, when someone, whatever it is, now I know. That's it. There's no anger, there's no retaliation, there's no deeper feeling because I don't waste my energy. Now I know. Because I'm a creator and I create so much all the time. I empower people on the daily. I serve. I live my life in service. I am creative. I enjoy things. And that's my real life. My real life is not defined by who hates me or who's against me or who doesn't like me or who doesn't approve of me or who is judging me or who wants me to be their perpetrator and be my victim and I don't need those relationships. I don't have those relationships in my life. There's no conflict. And when you're in conflict with someone, you have a relationship with them. So if you're choosing that, then you're choosing ego because you feel like you have something to prove. You're going to be working through all of this, especially in your relationships that are real tight, people that you have to see every day at work, family that you have to talk, all this is like when it's bursting and bubbling up to the surface. But after the new moon, Pluto stations direct, Saturn stations direct, Jupiter. Once things start rolling, October has a whole different vibe. This is coming out Monday, September 27th. We're still on the waning effects of the Pisces full moon. We have the quarter moon in Cancer, I think tomorrow or something. And, that's going to be a little adjustment in our consciousness, a crisis in consciousness. But moving forward, the retrograde Pluto square hits on the 1st of October. So, oh my God, then we have Mars square Pluto. Yeah. So this is going to be a thing. It's going to be ongoing. And so I just want you guys to be conscious and to be aware and to make a free will choice. I just want everyone to be free. There are physical prisons, but there's prisons of the mind that you have to liberate yourself from, or you stay there forever and you're never free. And that means something. I feel like my Mercury square Pluto is showing, you guys. Are there any questions? The truth you speak is honest and intense. As a Scorpio, it's appreciated. Thanks. Thank you guys. See, you guys appreciate this. And I do it in a way that is like as loving as possible. I promise that, it's all gratitude brings grace. I'm full of gratitude. Okay. All right, you guys. This was a lot. This was 37 minutes of some Mercury square Pluto stuff. So if you guys have any questions, I'll address them, maybe make another video. We'll see how you guys do. Let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, my dearies, take your power back. Take your power back. Do the right thing. Live in integrity. Oh, okay. One last thing about number 9. Only authentic strategy works. Capricorn rules integrity. Capricorn shines when they're acting in their integrity. So just do the right thing. That's it. Don't focus on getting your get back or getting revenge or anything ugly. It's ugly. It's ugly. Okay? I love you guys. Take really good care. And until next time, dearies, many, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.